Carla, for your request, Smoke on the Water. 3, 4. Now I'm hoping you've got your PDF file in front of you where it says intro and chorus riff. And it starts off there with a 00, which is basically the open 2 strings. And the 2 strings that I'm playing, I'm going to zoom in on quickly. So I'm just going to get the camera closer to the guitar. And you can see that everything is played on that string and this string simultaneously for the introduction. So you're playing 2 strings, 2 strings, 2 strings. You can, if you want to, also pluck the 2 strings like this. So you get... And then I'm using those 2 fingers here to pluck that string and this string at the same time. So you can do this. Or if you want to use a pick, you can do it like this. Okay, we got that. Now I'm going to zoom out and focus basically on our fretting hand over here. And you're going to start with an open fret, which is the 2 zeros written vertically above each other in the top left hand corner. Those are 2 zeros. Finger 1 for the 2 3s, and then ring finger for the double 5. So if you were to play the first 3 pairs, you'd have this 2, 3, 4, and simple as that. Now the next line goes 0, 3, 6, 5, obviously in pairs as well. And the 6, 5 you'll notice is written slightly closest together, a bit more sort of not as far apart, which means they're quicker. So it's... And you can see that 6, 5, 6 with a pinky, 5 with the ring finger is quick. So the first 2 bars together should sound something like this. And the last bar starts off pretty much the same as the first, and then simply reverses it, but quite quick with the last 3-0 again. So your spaces between the numbers also help give us an indication of timing. The wider the gap between the numbers, the more you wait. The numbers are close together, you play them quickish. So one more time through, I'm going to count with, and then you're going to play along with me. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, and... 2 and 3 and 4 and... And you played it through a total of, I think it's 4 times before the song starts. Now, if you're playing acoustic, it's going to sound something like this. This time on acoustic guitar, exactly the same. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2 and 3 and 4 and... But I'm going to switch back to electric guitar now and also quickly demonstrate the difference between overdrive and what they refer to as a clean tone. Okay, now on my right is a effects pedal which you can't see right now, but that gives me the different types of sound. Like this is what they call overdrive. And now I switch the overdrive off and I've got what they call clean tone. So it's a clear sound. And if you want to get overdrive, we got that. Now, if we go further, once you've done the basic introduction and we go along to the verse where you start singing, this is possibly one of the easiest rhythms you're ever going to do because everything is simply downstroke. So you're taking your pick, you're placing it on your bridge. This is the bridge over here. Get a bit closer so you can see where I put the palm. Palm is sitting over here. I'll demonstrate that on acoustic guitar now quickly as well. And on acoustic guitar, this is called the bridge here, and again you can see the palm is resting over here, and that's going to give us a hint of muted. So it's, you can hear the strings are slightly muted, they're called slightly damped as well. So this is damped, this is without damping. Big difference in sound, but let's go back to the electric guitar. We're going to use what they call power chords. Now, whenever you see a 5 written next to a chord, like if you look sort of halfway through on your PDF file, It's got 4 diagrams going G5, F5, C5 and A flat 5. And they all look sort of the same, but they're not. You'll notice that underneath them are little red numbers, which are the fret numbers. So if you're looking at the first one, for example, G5, you'll notice fret number 1, fret number 2, and finger 1 is in fret number 3. So up close, you're looking at it like that. Fingers 3 and 4 are in the 5th fret. The little red 5 is underneath them. And the pinky is playing the sort of pale orange dot. And that's the octave. So you don't have to include it if you find the stretches a bit much. So you can either do it like this, or you can include the pinky. This is G5. Now if you look at F5, the only real difference is that we're going to move this shape 1, 2 frets down. So same thing, but in frets 1 and 3 now. And you can see there the double line on the left hand side of the diagram represents the nut. So G5, F5, you don't have to include the pinky, or you can put the pinky or the ring finger flat across both strings as well. So it's quite a flexible chord. There's more than one way to do it. Now underneath that, it says G5 and there's a whole lot of arrows all pointing down. That is to give you your rhythm, and all the strokes are down strokes. If I'm focusing now more towards my strumming hand, you'll notice my palm again, like we displayed earlier, demonstrated, pinky down on the bridge, and everything down strokes. From the cursor there, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, that would be 1 bar. One more time, you can play with me, 2 and 3 and 4 and, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now the second bar, where the next G5 comes in, is repetition. But the third bar, you'll notice, only goes as far as 1 and 2 and then above 3 it says F5, and that's going to be 3 and 4 and. So if I zoom out a bit there and now include my fretting hand, you will see the movement as I go through from the G, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, second 2 and 3 and 4, third 2 and 3 and 4 and then back to G5 for the last one. So if you play it through one more time together with me now, are you ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, 2 and 3 and 4 and that possibly is one of the easiest power chord progressions you're ever going to play, which is the verse of the song. Again, if you did a bit of overdrive, it would sound something like this: 2, 3, 4 and. Same rhythm, just using overdrive, not clear tone. And that for a verse basically is a total of 4 times in a row. When they get to the chorus, this is the first real sort of change now, where they're actually singing "Smoke on the Water." You'll see next to the G5 there, where they sing "Fire in the Sky," it says C riff 2. But before we get there, for the C5, you're simply going to play also from fret 3, but down a string. So G5 was over here, and C5, as you can see, everything simply moves 1 string down, which means now that when you're playing this for the G5, strumming from the top, you're now strumming from the 5th string for the C5. Okay, so that part's going to go sort of "Smoke on the water" like that. Excuse my voice, it's the only one I got. And then instead of singing "Fire in the Sky," you're going to do this over here. Now the tab for it, before I play it, is written at the bottom, and it's going to be, and a bit of overdrive sounds pretty cool. Okay, it gives a bit of a more of a rock sort of vibe to it, but it still sounds cool and clear sound. Now the first half and the second half of that riff 2, which it says replace the G5, it's duplicate, it's copying each other. So the first one, and you repeat. But on the first time, you'll notice the very first 3, the font is slightly smaller, small 3, and then everything else is a certain size. And obviously the same for the duplicate. That small 3 means you pick it and you hammer onto the 5 really quick, so you can hear the effect of 2 notes, but you're only plucking 1. Slow motion and at the correct speed, and the rest are just basically fingers 1 and 3 that I'm busy moving over here. One more time through. Going to focus more onto the fretting hand now. Get nice and close there. 2, 3, 4. So if you put the whole chorus together now with a bit of overdrive, it's going to sound something like this, where he sings smoke on the water, and then you're going to have fire in the sky. And the second time, smoke on the water, you go back to and that's pretty much your song, besides for a very long lead solo that we're not going to look into now. So if you want to play Smoke on the Water, your basic riff. Your verses, G5, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 4 times in a row. And for the chorus, when it goes to smoke on the water, there's your A flat, which is fret 4 and 6, and then a fire in the sky. And that's the riff at the bottom over there. Hope you enjoy the song. Any questions? Give me a WhatsApp. Otherwise, have an awesome day. Thank you.